Hey girl. Hey girl. It's me, Vixen Ken, back with another episode of Vixen's Ken. I mean, technically y'all is my kinfolk. Y'all my family. So, we can say it either way. Vixen's verdict or Vixen's Ken. I like that. I fuck with that. Cause I'm Vixen Ken. Get it? I don't know. I'm gonna leave that blooper in there. For y'all that have been here since day one, I am the laziest person ever when it comes to editing videos. I feel like, how authentic can it really be if you keep cutting out all the parts where you're making mistakes, or this not that type of party, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get used to letting shit be what it is, because eventually I want to move from videos to going live, and it ain't gonna be none of that. It's just gonna be what it is. So if they want to make clips and shit because I said something, whatever. Anyway, we back, bitch. And let me tell y'all something. It's about hot in a motherfucker. Now, I do have central air. Praise the Lord. But I turned it off because I didn't want all that humming noise in the background, y'all. That shit be loud as hell. Then I'd be having the air purifier going. All type of shit. Not just that. Talking about hot. I would choose today to sit up there and take my king size mattress off my bed by myself, mind you. Pull it out my motherfucking room all the way to the damn front. Push it out the door, down 3 flights of stairs. Did I say by myself, bitch? I don't know if y'all ever moved a mattress. If you a buff bitch like me, if you ever moved a mattress, but you gotta keep it from toppling over. You gotta pull it, you know what I'm saying? Cause if you pushing it, you don't know where you're going. I got a lot of shit up in here. So I had to pull that motherfucker. Now when I got to them stairs, I'm not gonna lie. Had your motherfucking kids, had your wife, cause I'm throwing that bitch. Whoop. Fuck you talking about. Whoop. That motherfucker it's gonna get down to the best way it can is what the fuck I was thinking and did. Okay, and I got to that door and somehow I drug it to that dumpster. God is good. In those times, ladies, I know I talk a lot of shit about certain type of men, but in those times, bitch, I ain't give a fuck who would have helped. Let them be around, would you please? And you know what? It was a man with his funky dog head ass. It was a pissy ass man. It was giving pissy. I don't know. Some people just look pissy. He gonna drive past me and look and let me throw that shit out there. Now, I don't know if it was cause I was out there looking like who did it and why. Like a motherfucking ain't your mama. Bitch, I had on my caftan. I had my natural fro out. I look like an African, and I am African. I'm black. I'm beautiful. Ain't no wrong with looking African. But y'all know black brothers don't like black sisters. You know what I'm saying? Unless we all dolled up like this. So I don't know why they be sitting up there saying that, oh, we don't like that makeup shit. Because I feel like anytime I looked to the T, they was jumping out to help me. But since I look like, something they ain't want to poke in that moment, they ain't fuck around and help me, bitch. I was sweating bullets. Y'all know I done gained weight. I'm on a fluffier side. You know what I'm saying? On them damn profiles, when the motherfucker fat, it say pleasantly plump. On the fluffier side, bitch, I was drenched. Not sweating, bitch, drenched. I had sweaties, swass, and swussy, bitch. And then, to make matters worse, I had just got out the shower. And for those who know, I'm natural. You know what I'm saying? So, I wasn't funky or nothing like that. But it's just the principle. I don't want to feel that sweat on me. So, I had to do that little bird bath. Look, we getting off topic. The reason I brought this up was because, first of all, I've been putting that shit off. Because I work 40 hours, bitch. I work 40 hours a week. I was like, I don't feel like doing this. When I come home, I want to get in the bed. I'm not trying to take the bed apart. Damn near drag that heavy ass shit down. A king size mattress can be anywhere between 80 to 180 pounds, bitch. Bitch, the damn mattress weigh what I weigh. I push myself down the stairs. I'm tired, shit. I'm motherfucking shaped like a mattress right now. God damn it. Whew, I had to get that up out of there, and I know the men that have a field day with this. Talking about you don't need a man, bitch. I don't care if it was a motherfucking bird, a plane, Superman, somebody. I ain't give a fuck who helped. Anyway, I say that to say after that, I had to take a nap. And like I said, I was looking like who did it and why. I was tired, I'm like, I'm off during the week. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna clean up and shit like that. I don't feel like doing content. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I don't feel like recording this. I'm gonna do it. But then I thought about it. You know what I'm saying? I said, wait a minute. I don't never feel like getting up and getting dressed and having to do any type of job. But I get up 40 hours a week and I be at somebody's job, making them even more wealthy. And I do get paid pretty well. I'm in tech, y'all, for those who don't know. But I thought about it, for the particular company I work for. I'm like, damn, somebody had a dream. Somebody turned their thoughts and ideas into their reality, and they were consistent. People probably thought that they sounded crazy as hell, and I'm sure it was days that they were tired and they wanted to say, fuck this shit. A lot of the times in this generation, we want instant gratification. We want everything to happen overnight, because that's all we see, overnight success stories. People doing this, people not having real, genuine, authentic motherfucking talent that's getting, on these days. And I feel like we don't ever want to sit up there and actually put effort into ourselves. But that was my motivation. I said, ain't no way in hell I'm sitting up here okay with being exhausted, having to be presentable, get ready, and put my motherfucking mind, heart, and soul and loyalty into a motherfucking company, make it because of their dream. But I don't want to give that same effort to mine. Fuck this shit. I got up and I did something with myself. I freshened up my cooch. I got to put it on my underarms, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm vintage over here, bitch. I had to get my act together, and here we are. Smelling real good, like marshmallows and pink peonies and strawberries and vanilla and stuff like that. But yeah, talking about actual talent. Y'all know the BET Awards is coming up. Don't quote me on this, but I think June 28th. And it's being hosted by Drewski, y'all. Drewski funny as hell. All his skits are hilarious. No coin goes unturned fucking with him. He not showing no mercy toward anybody. He not being biased. Everybody in every race, in every situation is getting it. It's relatable. I feel like we all know somebody like that, even if it's not personally, that he be talking about. It's hilarious. And I felt like he's always trending. He's like the comedian of this generation, like the top to me, especially when it comes to like internet, people that do skits. I feel like he's just naturally hilarious. I think that it's perfect because what's the word for, I think his style of comedy, I think it is y'all, not parody, but what is it? I do think he does some parodies, but it's like oh, it's gonna come to me, y'all. It's gonna come to me. This how you know I'll be really preparing before this shit. What is it called? Oh my god, y'all. If y'all think of the word before I do, put it in the comments, y'all, because I can't think of what the fuck it's called. But anyway, when I was telling y'all just a couple of minutes ago, people used to have real talent. I feel like now people just they're creating superstars. Like, we're making people famous for stupid shit. Because we want to be entertained, by stuff like, we are easily entertained, if I wouldn't say the least, easily impressed. I can't explain it. Like, okay, so y'all know that Michael movie came out. It was all right. I love Michael Jackson. So anything Michael Jackson, I love him. I'm so just, he ain't got no business being gone. Y'all don't get me started. But anyway, Michael Jackson was somebody who had real authentic talent. There will never be another Michael Jackson, okay? I mean, granted, he has been famous his entire life. You know what I'm saying? That it's just not gonna happen again. And then there's performers and actual good singers and people that know music and stuff like that, like Beyonce, Chris Brown, and stuff like that. I feel like those are more of our millennial generation that, still around, that I feel like come a little bit close. But I feel like nowadays you got people that sound like other people that are getting famous. You know what I'm saying? Like, or, you got people that are creating content, that's not really authentic. Like I said, I just don't feel the same about these reward shows anymore. Like, I feel like it's bullshit. So I don't get excited about it, it's not for me. I don't know. I just, I don't want to hear that shit, because a lot of people that are getting all these awards and stuff like that, I feel like when I hear their catalog, it sound like shit. Like I could literally put a microphone or go in the studio with a toilet and shit, and it'll sound better than that. Baby, bye. For real. Don't let me have ate nothing I wasn't supposed to eat, like some motherfucking seafood or some milk or some bitch. I got your motherfucking 808s. Yeah, but anyway, back to me. Talking about the studio. A lot of people are like, where did your name Vixen come from? Vixen Ken. Well, you know, Ken, K-I-N, that's the first 3 letters of my real name. And so that's that. And like Vixen, I always felt like video vixens in the 2000s were beautiful. You know what I'm saying? They was half naked, but they was beautiful. I loved the confidence. And I felt like that was more of a natural beauty to attain. I mean, if you were naturally thin, at least, because that used to be the beauty standard back then for black and white people. But yeah, I don't know. It just stuck with me. Like, I felt like I'm foxy and pretty and stuff like that. And that's what a vixen is. I feel like, you know, I got the sass, the attitude with it, you know, natural confidence. I have a natural sway in my walk. And like, you know, that's just me. And also, fun fact, I used to rap. I still do. I just don't post it. But yeah, I got a couple of songs. You know, I might have to let y'all check that out. Fun fact, when I moved to Texas, I want to say about 2 years ago, maybe. I moved to Texas and I ended up making some friends, and some people were rappers, some people were actors, stuff like that. And I found music to be an outlet. It was a great hobby at that time. Like, I was trying to get my shit together. I was going through a lot, you know. I needed an outlet, and that music was a positive outlet. And a lot of it, I'm not gonna lie, was real freaky, because I was practicing abstinence while I was living in Texas. So whatever the fuck I wanted to get done and wanted to do to somebody else, it was like channeling in that music. So, you know, I kind of outgrown that era, but your girl was talking some shit. It was giving like Cupcake, Lil Kim, a little Nicki Minaj, like that kind of thing, you know? And yeah, everybody, like, the culture in Dallas, you know what I'm saying, with all of the black businesses, all of the talent, and all of the support people give you in the South, as opposed to people acting like it's not enough room for these skills and you know, not enough money and shit out here in the Chicagoland area. You know, it was a big difference, you know what I'm saying, for me at least. I like that, you know. Like I said, like, when I went into that booth, like, I transformed into Vixen. You know, I would get a little oil. That's what we call it, oil, which is liquor, in my system. It would boost my confidence, and then I would be, you know, my alter ego, Vixen Ken. So that's where that came from. Talking about ego and attitude and stuff like that, y'all. Another thing that was brought to my attention, because I was scrolling like everybody else, doom scrolling, bored as hell, was, I guess it's a lot of controversy with Angel Reese. They be dogging her out. I'm like, damn, what she do? She's gorgeous. She's tall. She got a nice body. She from Chicago. I'm like, what's going on with this? Now they saying the girl got attitude. I'm like, damn, we can't win. We can't win from losing. I thought that was the point of basketball. You know what I'm saying? When the guys do it, ain't no problem. That's part of the game. It's talking shit. It's kind of like when streamers get up and they battle against each other and talk shit, or people play the game and they on live with people and they talking shit. That's part of the game. She talking shit. Like, I feel like motherfuckers be getting soft, you know, like, okay, she winning, we don't want her to win, and stuff like that, or, you know, she better at this than some of us men, so let's try to tear her down now. And then, like, y'all gotta stop with this bullshit. We're not finna tear her down like she ain't look good as a motherfucking Victoria's Secret angel. Wasn't she the first pro athlete to be a fucking VS angel? Walking that runway like a natural, gorgeous, body is flawless. Stop playing with her. Like, you know, y'all always trying to make it seem like, you know, black women so angry and this and that. Please. Like, it's y'all choice of words. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of sports players in general have ego, attitude, confidence, and stuff that, like I said, is part of the game. But it's like y'all choice of words. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could just say competitive instead of she has a stank attitude. You know, she's supposed to feel good about herself. Because if nobody else fucking with you and ain't nobody a fan of you, you still supposed to be your biggest fan. I ain't with that bullshit. You know, like I said, like, words are powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like Proverbs 18:21. There's power in the tongue. You know what I'm saying? Let's look that up and see exactly what that scripture say, y'all. Let's see what that say. It says, the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Basically, let me try to find a simpler way of saying this. You know, I don't want to, you know, to some of y'all, I know that sounds like, you know, Shakespeare and stuff like that. But basically what I'm trying to say is words can persuade and program you. Just like even on the news, y'all, even on the news, when they're talking about like situations where Black people are, you know, in dire situations like Hurricane Katrina or something like that, you know, when they were saying that Black people were looting, but white people were looking for food. Words have meanings. Words mean something. And words can make you feel a way, think a way. You know what I'm saying? That shit is all in your subconscious. I had Googled the psychology behind words, right? And quote, it says, word choice is a psychological tool that shapes perception, drives behavior, and reveals unconscious mental states. The language we select activates hidden brain processes, triggering emotional, physiological, and cognitive responses. You know, it's not, y'all ever heard of the saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it? For instance, I had made a video on TikTok and I captioned it. I said, men don't have hoes. They have victims, you know? And I feel like a lot of men try to make it seem like I'm being dramatic. No, I'm not being dramatic. It's the truth. If these women do not know that you're lying to them, that you guys are not in a committed relationship, it's one-sided. If they don't know that you're having unprotected sex with multiple women and probably a man in the tranny or whatever, if they don't know that you're manipulating them and stuff like that, they're a victim. They're a victim and you're a predator. You're not a player. I say this all the time. It's not me trying to be dramatic. It's the fact that when something is serious, people try to use softer words to define it. And they do the exact opposite when something is serious. These things, when you lie to somebody and they find out something, the shock value it could have on their mental state is detrimental. You know what I'm saying? People have to heal from these things. People need therapy from these things. When you're having sex with all these people behind this person back and they're only having sex with you and they're in love with you, and next thing you know, they discovering that they got lumps and bumps or something wrong with them, or they need some type of surgery or got to take pills or something like that. That, imagine the fucking mentally, like, you're not thinking of the consequences, because if you view this person as a hoe instead of a victim, you won't have that conviction that you need to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're looking at this person and you're degrading them with your words, and it's confusing you into thinking like, fuck this bitch, I'm worried about myself. It's going to keep you in a state of selfishness. It's going to keep you in a state of, you know, I'm just having fun. Ain't nothing serious about this. Yeah, for you, but this person is a victim to you because they don't know. The only time a person is a hoe is if they know that they are behaving and performing sexual activities at will to gain money from you, and it's a business transaction. Just because it's a woman that you're using, it does not make her a hoe because you said she's a hoe. The fuck? Same thing with calling women females. Let's pull up the definitions. What is a female? Female refers to the sex of an organism that produces ova or egg cells for reproduction, right? For humans, it specifically describes girls and women, and it also used in mechanics, technology, botany, to describe recessed parts of seed producing structures. Let's see, what is a woman? It's crazy when you search that, everything but the correct definition of that pops up. This world about to fucking blow up. The definition of a woman encompasses biological, social, and personal dimensions. And the meaning, yeah, see, this is right here. You can't even get, it said a woman is someone who identifies as a, this is fucked up. Anyway, if you go to the Merriam-Webster website and you Google this, because you got to work hard to get that fucking definition, because it's apparently a billion and trillion gazillion genders now. And I'm not against the LGBTQ plus community, but this some bullshit. Because if you put trans or cis and shit in front of it, it's all these, I should, whatever. The definition is an adult female person, a woman belonging to a particular category, stuff like that. An adult who lives and identifies as a female. Now, I don't know why I just sat up there and read that. Because y'all be like, see? No, it's not the same. You wouldn't refer to a dog as a woman. Okay? You wouldn't refer to this leave-in conditioner as a woman. You wouldn't refer to this pen as a woman. I'm not a motherfucking structure or an object or something like that. Also, typically, when we're talking about animals, is this a male or a female, right? Is this a male or a female? You don't, when you got a dog, you don't say, is that a man or a woman? Because we associate men and women with human beings. Simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now with that bullshit. I don't appreciate that. Words have meaning. When you refer to a woman as a female, you take away everything that makes her a woman. You dehumanize, to say the least. You dehumanize her when you don't call her a woman. Same thing with the bitch. Same thing with calling a man a nigga. To be honest, I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. Calling a man a man a nigga. Words have meaning. Words influence. Words persuade. When we're talking, and how I know is because when I am talking about a male, a man, and I am describing him to be good, I refer to him as a good man. A man. When I am referring to him as something that is bad, I call him a nigga. And when I think of a nigga, I think of a black man. Very seldom do I call another woman a nigga. Now, I've called women bitches. I've been called a bitch. That's dehumanizing. A bitch is actually a female dog. You know? And when a man, to me, is referring to a bitch in the sense of a female dog, he's describing a woman's loyalty. And it's not just a woman's loyalty, it's a loyalty of a hoe. Like, this is a bitch that I got wrapped around my finger. When I call, she come, I feed her. She stay here in my house, she protect me, she bring the money back home to me, she loyal. I don't like that shit. It's degrading. If we gonna be honest, am I gonna say it? Yes. But and that's something that I am working on. I'm working on cursing a lot less, y'all. One thing about me, I talk a lot of shit. Look, there we go. I talk a lot of stuff, y'all. I do. I do. I do. And I'm not gonna say I'm trying to work on not doing it, because that's kind of a part of me, and I don't always talk stuff in a way. See, I'm working on it in a way to offend people. I got water up in my wine glass, y'all. All this damn talking. Whew. I don't talk stuff in a way to offend people all the time. It's just, it's just me. I like to bust balls. What that means, like, I like to crack on my friends, and, I could throw shade, and it's funny and stuff like that. But, you piss me off, you're going to see another side of me. I could go for a long time reading somebody, honey. Reading somebody. But, let's get back to the regular scheduled program, because we ain't even gonna get on that reading shit, because, we know y'all love drama. We know y'all love a good read and all of that stuff like that. And y'all expect me to just dog men out every day, all day. It's just like, damn, can I just do something else, y'all? Y'all not fucking with me in any kind of way. Y'all just want me to roast these men. Yes, I do be roasting them. You know what I'm saying? But as a woman, y'all gotta understand how that make me look too, because they really be thinking I'm pressed about them. Anyway, y'all, what I wanted to talk about was Kanye West and his wife, his new wife, not Kim, Bianca Sensory, the one that looked just like Kim. Have y'all seen her? I was like, damn, that's not Kim. I mean, she's a little more oddly proportioned than Kim is, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's like she's shaped like a chromosome or something. But look at me. Who the fuck am I to talk? But yeah, bitch, I'm over here looking like them damn. Yeah, anyhow, bitch. Look, just flying all over the place. Forgive me. Woo, I'm trying, y'all. I brought her up because now, I love me some Kanye West, okay? I remember being a little girl when he was really in his prime, y'all. And, the Jesus walks and Stronger, and, when he, young Kanye West, college dropout, one of my favorites from him was single black female addicted to anyway, y'all know, bitch, get off topic. Yeah, anyway, back to him and Bianca Sensory. So the reason I brought this up, because I seen a little clip of them, what was this, yesterday or the day before, and I'm like, they always talking about Bianca, talking about she ain't never got no clothes on, talking about how she dressed and how she a wife and stuff like that. But on the flip side, when it was Kim Kardashian, they was sitting up there saying she trendy, she looks great for her age, she's sexy, she's a MILF and stuff like that. And I remember specifically when Kanye was trying to tell her as his wife, she needs to dress different, change. He was trying to get back into God and stuff like that. And, they was trying to frame him as crazy, as they always do. Anytime you're talking about God and trying to change your life around and do better and stuff like that, all of a sudden you crazy. And they're able to they're able to persuade the masses that you're a nutcase. It's crazy to me. That's crazy. But yeah, they was saying he's controlling her, or, he's a narcissist and stuff like that, which I do believe that Kanye West can be very arrogant. I feel like, I don't think he went crazy. I do think that he's been through a lot. That man lost his mother. He probably felt like it was his fault for bringing her into the fame life with him. I'm sure that he probably funded that surgery and somehow, and he probably carries a lot. And yes, I'm sure that, but imagine, just even when it comes talking about Michael Jackson, y'all, imagine, I'm getting off topic, but we're going to get back to Bianca Sensory. Imagine when you need therapy. Like, I'm in therapy. I had a troubled childhood and issues with growing up with my mother and, other things. And imagine you're a celebrity, you're going to these doctors and therapists and stuff like that could be working with other people that don't like you, and money talks. And money is the root of all evil. Shit is corrupt. You know what I'm saying? And you can have people paying you just like MJ doctor. They probably pay. We not gonna get into that, y'all. To fucking give him all type of crazy pills that really ain't, you know, just all type of shit, man. Even with that whole situation with Gucci Mane having schizophrenia. We getting back to this. But like I said, I don't think it was controlling necessarily for what Kanye said. Cause I get Kim Kardashian, she was saying, well, you're the one that, you know, told me to dress like this. You're the one that, you know, hyped me all up to be this type of, you know, role model and all sexy and stuff. And now you're trying to take it away. You're trying to control me. She dropped his ass like old news. But like I said, what's the difference between Kim and Bianca? Is it because Kim is more popular, mainstream? Is it because y'all idolize her? You cannot see a woman that looks exactly like this woman, dressed the same way she dresses, provocative, half naked and stuff like that, and then want to say one thing about her and one thing about the other. Y'all full of shit. That just goes to show that subconsciously, and just how easy it is to persuade y'all. Whatever the media tells you to believe is trendy and that's in style and shit is whatever y'all gonna believe is trendy and style. And this is why y'all so easy to hop on a hate train and y'all don't even have a personal problem with what the fuck be going on. All of this is distractions, bitch. It's bigger shit going on in the world right now. Y'all need to go get y'all motherfucking kids off these streets out here in Chicago. That's what the fuck y'all need to do. These damn teen takeovers, these damn kids acting like wild banshees, because then when the police start shooting their ass, all of a sudden we gonna be on the damn news again looking like stampede and monkeys, and they gonna be like, look at them Nikers. You know, I ain't got but why you had to get me a you know, a Hermes bag. Fuck some Gucci and LV. It's giving new money. That shit disgusts me. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all, I just, that right there, that don't make no damn sense. Y'all need to think for yourselves. You know, it's okay, like, y'all listening to me, it's okay to want to hear somebody's thought process, point of view, like somebody and stuff, but like, to the point where y'all need to know, if you believe if something is wrong in general, don't just apply it to one person and not the other, is all I'm saying. You know what I'm, just be yourself. Like, you know damn well some of the shit that Kim be having on look crazy as hell too, don't make no damn sense. Bitch done had on a stocking and a bra, and all of a sudden all the women got on stockings and bras, or trying to buy some shit y'all just bad because it's a brand, y'all full of it. And that's why Kanye made them clothes with them holes in it. It's just a social experiment. Like, look at what Balenciaga be making. You stamp a fucking label on it, and it has the potential to provide people with statuses. You're gonna see all the insecure people go line up to go get it. Just like with that damn watch. Y'all got a damn, what was it, a pocket watch? Bitch, you could do this. Foolish. And then still trying to validate it and justify it. You know, you felt dumb as hell. Anyway, y'all, talking about status and shit like that and money and stuff. You look, I was looking at a post on the internet earlier today, and somebody said $28 an hour is the new minimum wage. And I'm like, shit. I keep trying to tell people I don't get into politics. That's not my thing. I could if I sat down and really tried to see what was going on with that. But at the end of the day, all that matter, bitch, is the book of Revelations. All the other shit in between, look, I look out for key events that I be looking for. At the end of the day gotta end. Literally. The fuck? Anyway, when it comes to that, like, it's just gonna be rich or poor. It's not really about to be no more middle class. That's what it's giving. And this is somebody that don't do politics. I'm not really into economics like that. I don't really talk about all of that other stuff like that. This ain't that type of party. Literally, I ain't into them parties. Take y'all ass somewhere else with that nonsense. I'm not pledging allegiance to shit. Like, but I feel like the closer you get to $100,000, which used to be like, I feel like the goalpost for a lot of people back in the day, the more you realize it's not about how much you make, but how much you're able to save and just managing your finances. You know what I'm saying? And more about investing than spending. You know, I think it's just a mindset in actual, not just restraint, but intention. You know, one thing about me, I like to shop. Okay, I like to shop for clothes. I like to go out. I like aesthetics. I like nice shit, nice places. I like to give my children experiences, you know. So, you know, I could spend a lot of money, and when I am in the state of I've got a lot of money and I can get the things that I want to get without really too much having a hassle about it, and I feel comfortable with where my finances are for whatever time period, I feel my happiest. Obviously, I feel, you know, like, okay, well, I got all this stuff, you know, but then now it's on the next thing, like, what, I need something else. And I feel like a lot of the time when we're like ordering food, going out every weekend, or you know, some people gamble. I know what I see a lot with these sports and shit like that. People are sports betting. You got a lot of shit at your phone, at your beck and call to spend. And I feel like a lot of people are chasing dopamine. And with like all of these video games, all these, like I said, instant, you know, scrolling, you don't know what you're going to get next. So it's like keeping you in your mind in this constant loop of dopamine. It's like no matter what you do, it's like we're all self-medicating, you know. And when you're in that dopamine loop, your brain is in that loop. Your brain's taking mental system, I believe, for rewards and stuff like that is being hijacked by social media, is being hijacked by video games, gambling, and eating and shit like that. It's all self-medication, because a lot of people be bored, and you know, people don't never have a chance to regulate themselves. You know, activities where you actually sit still for a long period of time and you're controlling your breathing, or actually sitting down, being patient, reading or creating and stuff like that, is slowly fading away, you know. And I feel like AI about to take over everything because everybody lazy. I really feel like there's gonna be a generation of people being retarded as hell. Like, you know how many kids are failing 3rd grade? You know, man, in Indiana, like, they got something called an iRead. Like, if your child don't pass that shit, they're not gonna go to the 3rd grade. You know, in Illinois, I think they still got that No Child Left Behind. Your child could be legit slow as a box of motherfucking rocks. And if you one of them parents that don't care about education, we not talking about they have to go to college or anything, but if you don't add structure in your kids' life and stuff like that, they're just gonna get by and use shit like AI because they're not gonna know how to do a fuck thing. I don't know. That's just my thing. But one thing I realized when it comes to these addictions and chasing dopamine and stuff like that, you replace one thing with another, right? You stop smoking and some people start drinking. If you you know, say like you're not going to like I said, use a vape or something, you start eating more because you're trying to replace one thing with another. You know, so are you really healing? Are you really taking the time to see, like, what is it that I feel like I'm missing? You know, and a lot of it is psychological. You know, like, you know, you ever heard of somebody saying like they have an addictive personality, shit like that? I feel like some people easily get addicted to things. And I feel like it's people who have a lot of trauma. Because if you think about it, when you have a lot of trauma, you always trying to look for something to fill voids. Like, you know, you ever seen somebody throwing drinks back or whatever, and you're like, damn, they must be going through something. That's the same with a lot of things. It's just like a lot of things that people are addicted to, they have no idea that they're addicted to it, or what their reason behind overindulging in anything is, because Like, you're just never regulated. And when you look online, it's just so normalized. Why the fuck in country music they just telling these beautiful love stories and everybody fully clothed and they're doing nice activities and stuff like that, and they're talking about family, and this is a whole nother reward show separate from black people and different networks that black people don't really watch. But then when you go on our networks, they're promoting smoking and drinking and partying all the time. Ain't nobody talking about family. You know, they're degrading women, degrading men and stuff like that. You know, it's some bull crap. Remember, you're mine. And I ain't trying to be one of them fake woke people, y'all. I'm not. You know, I'm not one of them fake woke people, but I just be feeling like, damn, y'all don't ever be paying attention to this shit, y'all. It really be tweaking me out. That's what I've been watching lately. Like, one thing that I had to do for my own good is clear my cache, refresh my history, and completely reset my algorithm on TikTok. Because TikTok's algorithm, Instagram's algorithm, like many other algorithms, whatever you start watching and engaging with, they start, you know, matching you with more videos like that. So they feel like whatever you like, they're going to keep feeding it to you. And now you just sitting there and you keep scrolling and you keep coming across stuff you interested in. And I feel like people don't understand this stuff is changing your mind. It's resculpting your reality and stuff like that. Because if you keep hearing one thing or keep seeing one thing, my mama used to always say, and my grandma used to say, whatever you watch, get in your spirit. They used to always say that. And you know, when I got old, you know, when I was younger, I was like, damn, you say this about everything. You blame this on everything and blah, 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 blah. But when you get older, you get a little wisdom to you. You know what I'm saying? And you like, oh, I see what she mean. You know what I'm saying? Because really, when I think of her meaning behind that is it's going to get in your conscious. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I used to watch Bad Girls Club before it became Baddies, like a spinoff of Baddies, and it's nothing but fighting. They don't even try to have a storyline or promote sisterhood or nothing like that. You know, girls just having fun and stuff like that. No, it became just straight up fighting for views. It's no, you know, when I used to watch that, when I used to go to school and, you know, what used to be trying to actually use motherfucking emotional skills like talking things out, better understanding one another, trying to solve problems, it just became fighting because that was what I seen. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was cute. You know, I thought that, you know, just it just was right there. I watched fighting all week, so now I'm finna come kick your ass, bitch. You know, you said something to me I didn't like, you know, let's fight. You know, so y'all be careful with that. Some of y'all need to reset y'all algorithm. You know, start watching certain type of videos so those could keep going on your page. You know, like certain stuff, you know, that you want to implant in your consciousness, like talking about money, finances, starting up businesses, and more videos like that. Whatever, this is what I advise y'all to do, and trust me, it works, because a lot of stuff is manipulating your mind. You know, so use it to your advantage. I wanted to start a podcast, you know, and this is turning into more of a podcast talk show type of thing. I don't know what the I'm doing. I'm just doing it because I'm meeting whatever. But y'all, I said, okay, I want to do this. So I stopped researching everything that I needed, right, to start it up. And I just start watching podcasts. I didn't even watch podcasts. It just, I don't know. You know, I wanted to do it because someone else mentioned it. It wasn't my thing. I didn't really, my attention span wasn't giving. Like, I'm going to sit up here and watch other people talk this shit lame. But I get it, like for truck drivers or people that want to work out or got long drives or whatever the case. But yeah, back to what I was saying was I started watching a lot of people having podcasts and started watching old talk shows and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, I could do this, I could do that. And I just watched so many people that were already good at it. It made it seem easy. And instead of just, you know, watching all this other shit, getting distracted from my ideas and stuff like that, I just kept feeding my mind with the stuff until I watched it so much that I kept feeling inspired to do it, and now I'm doing it. So I let, that was a form of whatever you're investing time and effort into manifesting into your reality. So that's why, you got to be careful. So y'all, I just wanted to hop on here and fuck with y'all a little bit. I don't know where I want to go with this. But I'm winging it. This not even something, like I said, I'm not even editing for real. I'm not even making it a big thing, not trying to be perfect. At first I was like, oh, I need to go get a studio. I need to rent it, and I need to, immediately start going live and having call-ins. I spent well over $1,000 on equipment. I've got a Rodecaster. I got a mic set up. I went and bought an expensive camera and stuff like that. And now I'm on the phone using 4K. So I just feel like, back to what I said in the beginning of the video, because I want to be inspiration to people. You work so hard for these companies that would drop you in a heartbeat. A lot of these employers are at will employers. Unless you work for like a place and there's a union or something like that, they can get rid of you at any point in time. A lot of us get a little older. Like, I just turned 30 in January, and we feel like, oh, we missed our beat to do this. We missed our beat to do that. But when you actually have real talent and you're not just doing something because it's trending, it doesn't make you feel like it's an immature thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have a passion for music and I'm just making music because I'm having fun and I'm sharing a gift and what I have fun knowing with other people, and it take off, what is so bad about that? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still taking care of what I need to take care of, and I'm not harming nobody. So that's how I looked at it 2 years ago at 28 years old, when I started making my music in the studio for the first time instead of recording on my phone. I said, I'm at home. I've been talking on social media for years. I got almost 100,000 followers on TikTok. I've got videos in the millions, hundreds of thousands of views and stuff like that, interactions every day with people that have been with me since I started, and who would have known? I never knew that people really cared about my opinion like that, or would care to, engage with my content, but here I am. So I feel like you start from somewhere, and if you can give so much to somebody else's dream, because that's all you're doing when you're working for these companies, why don't you give to yours? So I wanted to leave y'all off on a little bit of inspiration. I'm hot as hell, y'all. I turned off that damn air I told y'all, so that, it wouldn't be no humming in the background, because I told y'all, this is a motherfucking prop. I ain't even hooked this up. Look, let me stop touching it like that. Anyway, yeah, so I'm finna go turn the air on, and I'm finna lay down. My damn titties hanging